done for Ed?
I'm pretty sure it should be all completed. I guess Kyle and Griffin will probably let me know if there's anything wrong with it. I started kind of doing some exercises a few weeks ago. If you had to guess, I don't know if you do like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff. How many sit-ups do you think you can do?
3,
Really? Is that it?
4?
I got almost 17 sit-ups.
No, you
I'm at
didn't.
about 16 and a half.
No, you didn't.
I uh man, I really need to get in shape. I can just feel that I'm getting old. Man, I can feel it.
Well, your fingers will be in shape.
I doubt it.
Did you save me one of those hats?
I don't think that there's any left.
Oh,
I'm not sure how many we got. I know the other guys got a few of them.
it's pretty sweet.
Did you want one?
Yeah, I want one for when I start doing sit-ups.
Yeah? That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, we should probably start.
Oh, yes, we
Oh,
should
wait.
start.
No, we're already live. Hello.
What?
We're live.
Good one.
No, for real.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh. Hello again, friends. Matt with Eddie's Guitars, coming to you as always from St. Louis, Missouri. And if we've been live for a while, I'm sorry about that. Hondra's elbow must have hit the button there.
Whoops.
We appreciate you joining us on the last live stream of 2024, the last Acoustic Guitar Showcase live stream of 2024. We are really, really eager to jump into some most excellent guitars that we have recently gotten in the shop. And the very first one off the wall is a little sweetheart of a guitar from our friends at Collings. This is a Collings Baby 2. With a handful of customizations that we were able to apply to it with the good folks at Collings Guitars to kind of elevate it above just kind of its standard version. Hondro, if we could take a look at this lovely top here, we will enjoy a beautiful, rather petite little German spruce top on this Baby 2. If you're familiar with the Collings terminology and the Collings models, it may have come to your attention that I am not calling this a Baby 2H model, meaning this guitar does not have the herringbone top border normally associated with the 2 series guitars from Collings. So this is a 2 series, but not a 2H with the herringbone, which is kind of a cool custom touch that we were able to do. But otherwise, like I said, starting with a beautiful grainy German spruce top on this guitar, which is just a lovely thing. I love that little teardrop tortoiseshell pickguard there. Of course, the 2-style rosette going around the sound hole. And then that lovely, very signature ebony belly bridge down there right in the center of that top. This is a 14-fret guitar, but Collings has done an awfully good job of sinking that bridge still nicely down into that top to give you some good responsiveness and some great bass response out of such a small guitar. You'll see that the body of this guitar has an ultra handsome and very sophisticated looking flamed koa binding, one of the custom options that we were able to add to this guitar. Normally this guitar would come with a grained ivoroid binding on the body. We wanted to add a little bit of a luxurious touch there with that golden figured koa wood there on the binding, and they did a fabulous job of indulging us in that. Back and sides of this guitar are a killer set of East Indian rosewood, beautiful quarter sawn straight wood here. We've got the small zipper back strip going right down the center of that back there. But otherwise, a good dark set of East Indian rosewood here. Certainly beautiful stuff. I love that koa heel cap right there, matching all the binding. And if we look down here at the end graph or the tail wedge, we will also enjoy a highly figured koa tail wedge there as well. Again, matching all that binding perfectly. Just, again, very extra rich looking in this guitar. All the way up on the headstock, we'll see an exotic ebony veneer on the face of that headstock, of course, with the mother of pearl Collings logo all the way up top. We've got the nickel Waverly tuning machines with those butterbean style buttons. Again, super traditional looking, standard treatment for the 2 series guitars from Collings. We also have an ebony fingerboard with the short pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlays done in abalone. Beautiful touch there. Simple, but again, very elegant. Again, matching that ebony belly bridge down here as well. The neck on this guitar is the standard profile, being the modified V neck profile. This also has the 1 3/4 inch nut width with a 2 3/16 spacing, which is standard down here at that ebony bridge. Scale length on this guitar is a short 24 1/8 inch scale length, so a rather petite size in the Collings baby in terms of its ergonomics and dimensions and everything. But I'll tell you, it is not a tiny sounding guitar by any means at all. In fact, even getting into it with a flat pick a bit is pretty darn rewarding. Great chimey and sparkly tone, kind of a nice mid-range punch as well from the German Spruce and the East Indian Rosewood here. Again, in a rather petite, comfy little package. The Collings Baby has been sort of one of the luxury versions of a travel guitar out there for a number of clients that we've had over the years, and it is exactly that. It's certainly beyond a travel guitar, but if price is no object, so to speak, this is, perhaps best case scenario for a travel guitar, but certainly would make an awesome little studio tool. Nice crisp tone. Not shy on the sustain front either, which is cool.
Got a comment from Chris Gabriel. Says, "Hi Matt, I have a custom 00 being made, bog oak and moon spruce.
Nice.
What are your thoughts? Good for fingerstyle?"
Oh yes, I believe it will be, and I'm curious as to who the builder is on that guitar, if he wouldn't mind sharing that with us. Moon spruce is awesome. Bog oak is awesome. I'm sure combining the two will be a magical combination as well. Spacious, but still grounded in its fundamentals. It's not going to be simply a wall of overtones. It should be very multifaceted and rather complex sounding. Yikes. Another somewhat small guitar off the wall, folks. This is a brand spanking new Kevin Kopp RJ model. And one that, once again, we were able to pick out some just incredible woods with the help of Mr. Kevin Kopp. And the tone that they create is sure a beautiful thing. Andra, let's go crazy here.
Yeah.
Folks, we have got a hand-rubbed, hand-applied sunburst finish over a gorgeous Englemann spruce top on this RJ model. And this is a sweet, sweet machine, as we just heard. This is a rather petite little guitar here, being kind of the RJ style 12-fret guitar. Beautiful, beautiful sunburst on that Englemann top, though. We've got an ivoroid binding around the body, as well as an ivoroid rosette there going around the sound hole, with a rosewood bridge and fingerboard. And the back and sides of this guitar, wipe this dust off of here real quick. Back and sides of this guitar are a filthy, filthy, incredible set of old Madagascar rosewood. And we're talking straight grain perfection here. Absolutely jaw-dropping Madagascar rosewood. Very, very old stuff. Very exquisite stuff. Very stable wood, most importantly. When building a guitar, having nice, stable material to build it out of that's long-lasting and durable is an important part of the ingredients there, and this is certainly exactly a great example of that. Gorgeous, gorgeous rosewood on this guitar. All the way up on the headstock, we'll see an ebony veneer with a mother-of-pearl Kopp logo all the way up top there. If I could get it in focus for us, we will try to do that. We've got nickel Waverly tuning machines. They've got black ebony buttons on there. Very, very sharp looking for sure. Again, rosewood fingerboard with the dot fingerboard inlays going all the way up. And this is a beautiful C profile neck. Not really any presence of any kind of a V or anything like that, but a nice kind of a medium full C profile. Not giant by any means, so don't let that intimidate you, but a nice kind of medium fullness in the hand here. Very comfortable size and shape. We've got the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width and the 2 5/16 spacing down here at the bridge. Again, Englemann spruce, you know, known for its responsiveness, its clarity, its sort of compatibility with fingerstyle playing, especially due to its sensitivity. But some awfully good headroom out of Englemann too in this particular context. A lot of times the RJ or sort of, you know, guitars of this sort of style, the kind of Robert Johnson inspired sort of thing here, often have a borderline, in my opinion, almost too dry of a tone and make you really work for every bit of tone that you're getting out of it. I really like the Madagascar rosewood aspect of this guitar because it's definitely giving you a little bit of that spaciousness around the fundamentals, which are certainly present, but a more forgiving sound, I think, for most folks' playing style, certainly mine. Nice, just light presence of overtones there, but just enough to keep it really pretty sounding. Killer. Killer.
A couple questions before you put that down.
Yeah.
I might have been reading comments if you already touched on this, but Tomas Montano was curious about the body style. Is it supposed to be a 12 fret J185 inspired?
No. So, Tomas, if you're familiar with like the Gibson RJ or the Robert Johnson model, that's basically what this is, or the L1 really is what it's kind of modeled after, which the L1 is what Robert Johnson was photographed playing famously many years ago. So Kevin calls this model the RJ, of course, short for Robert Johnson, without getting a lawsuit thrown at him. But that's what this is based on. It's kind of that L1 body shape, the original kind of early 30s Gibson kind of creation there. So definitely smaller than like what a 12 fret J185 would be. Definitely smaller than that. Cool guitar, and such a unique, just round bottom to this guitar. You know, even in other Gibson models, this model or Gibson-like models have always had, you know, a little bit more flatness to the bottom. This one's really had that big round bottom to it, which is a very signature look. Pretty darn cool.
And any idea why the RJ would have rosewood fretboard versus ebony? Question from David Vandermolen.
That, if I recall correctly, I believe that's how the original RJs were made, most commonly by Gibson back in the 30s. I don't think that those were ebony fingerboard guitars. I believe they were rosewood fingerboard. Now that said, that, as I said, is a rosewood example. Obviously, Madagascar rosewood by Kevin Kopp there. A lot of the RJs that I've seen, not that I've necessarily played, but just actual vintage examples out there, and I keep calling them RJs, they're not, they're L1s, are mahogany back and side guitars. So again, they're typically a little bit more dry sounding, hence the cool spaciousness in the Kopp that we have here.
Nice.
Folks, we have reached a lovely and powerful guitar that will most likely be gone before we're able to talk about it much longer. It's just because of the rare nature of what this guitar is, and we are excited to have another one of these in our shop after quite a while of not having one in our shop. Folks, this is a Collings D2H Traditional, an Adirondack spruce top and Madagascar rosewood back and sides. If you are close followers of Collings guitars, you will know that the combination of a traditional series guitar along with Madagascar rosewood back and sides is not something that we see on a day-to-day basis. They are out there. They're rare, though. There's not tons of them out there. East Indian rosewood examples are going to be far more abundant, and though they are awesome guitars, there is something awfully special and certainly undeniable in the Madagascar rosewood versions of these guitars. And Hunter, if we could take a look at this top, we will enjoy a awesome Collings grade Adirondack spruce top on this D2H traditional. And this is a sweet top on this guitar. Rather blonde color, but some nice character in there for sure, but just a beauty. Of course, we've got that really traditional grained ivoroid binding going around the body itself, of course, with that small herringbone pattern going around the perimeter of the top itself. We also have the traditional two-style rosette done with some beautiful wood purfling going around the sound hole there, and the traditional cut-through saddle on the ebony belly bridge down here. Again, just totally old school in its styling here. Back and sides, as I have already mentioned, are a dead straight grain set of gorgeous Madagascar rosewood. Man, oh man, what an example here. Beautiful, beautiful Madagascar rosewood all the way around. Nothing to complain about here. If you get up close there, we can see that nice zigzag back strip going down the center of the back in two style as well on this guitar, perfectly tying in all of the details. All the way up on the headstock, we will see a matching Madagascar rosewood headstock veneer. I love that they did that so often. They're done in ebony up there, but I love that they matched that Madagascar rosewood up there. We've got the gold mother of pearl Collings logo as well. Again, the nickel Waverly tuning machines with the butterbean buttons on there. Very, very sweet all the way around. And again, really traditional and very classic in its styling. This does have the standard traditional style neck from Collings with the standard 1 3/4 inch nut and 2 5/16 spacing down here at that ebony bridge. We're loaded with pre-war scalloped Sitka spruce braces underneath this Adirondack spruce top here. There's no tongue brace in the traditional series guitars, so they're kind of deliberately building it as light as reasonably possible while still giving you a long-lasting, durable, reliable guitar. And man, they have achieved some downright luscious tone out of this particular example. And as I've said, we've had just a small handful of the Madagascar rosewood D2H traditionals through our shop in the past. In memory, in recent memory at least, this one is really, really up near the top of the heap of those examples. Incredible depth, and again, we're talking about an infantile guitar here. This thing is simply brand new with brand new strings on it, and it's got a substantial head start in its life. We'll just put it that way. Gonna make a dread player real happy, for sure. Beautiful guitar.
Matt, James Bertels is thinking about a short scale dreadnought with some thump. Any recommendations?
Oh, yes. Short scale dreads. You know, James, short scale dreads are maybe not the most common thing out there. I think of, boy, you know, like Martin, for example, for a while was building a D18 short scale. You tend to see more short scale guitars, James, in slope shoulder guitars, you know, kind of maybe more on the Gibson side of the camp, more so than the Martin. Think like, you know, J45, you know, that kind of thing. Like I said, that's more of a slope shoulder dread, but boy, that's a good question. I haven't been asked about a short scale dread in a while. I'm failing on coming up with a lot of stock models out there.
Matthew Pesquet is asking maybe the Hummingbird. I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, Hummingbird's a long scale, though, isn't it?
That's what
Or
I
is it
thought.
24 3/4? Hondra's going to find out for us, folks.
24 3/4.
Oh, it is. Well, on that note, you could have, of course, you could do a Gibson Hummingbird, and there would be nothing wrong with that. You could also look at a Kevin Kopp The Bird, which is Kevin Kopp's interpretation of the Hummingbird, which, you know, he could build in any scale length you want at that point, being a custom situation. But James, that's a good question. I'm going to have to ponder on that a bit. A short scale dread with some thump. Yeah, you know, something like a Dove is certainly on paper fits the bill. Folks, we've reached a guitar that I am excited to get into, no doubt about it. Goodness gracious. And I'm going to be real honest with you folks. These are a couple of tone woods that have been combined here that I am still very much so getting acquainted with and having an absolute ball doing exactly that. Folks, this is an H13 custom that we've gone off the deep end on customizing here with the help of Richard Hoover and Brenda Martinez there at Santa Cruz Guitar Company. They are certainly a delight to work with, and this is an extra sweet creation, especially in the context of an H13. Now, the H13 model from Santa Cruz, if you're uninitiated so far regarding the model, is essentially Santa Cruz's interpretation, loosely at least, on the classic Gibson Nick Lucas model. The silhouette of the guitar, if we're simply just looking at the outline of the shape, is very, very similar, if not basically an L00 type shape. Now, this is a 13 fret neck joint, and the body depth on this guitar is quite a bit deeper than a standard L00 or L style guitar, giving it its own, you know, sort of set of not only dimensions, but its own tonal profile as well due to those dimensions. We also have a long scale length on this guitar being 25.375 as opposed to something sub 25 inch in terms of scale length. So kind of an excellent combination of specifications. Richard Hoover himself of Santa Cruz Guitar Company has never ever been shy about letting it be known that the H13 is his personal favorite guitar model that Santa Cruz Guitar Company makes. So again, we always pay close attention to what do the builders like? What do the folks that have their hands inside these things day in and day out appreciate and gravitate towards? And we were lucky to be able to put this guitar together with Santa Cruz. Andro, let's go nuts here. Folks, we have got an ancient dark cypress, dark forest, ancient cypress top here on this guitar, courtesy of Aaron Lucas of Dark Forest Tonewoods there. Man, oh man, this is a gorgeous specimen of a top here. You can see that bordering that top is a wonderful Powa shell or abalone shell going around the perimeter of the top itself, as well as around the sound hole on the rosette here, giving it just a nice splash of color out of that just incredibly iridescently smoky looking top. Really excellent hues and colors all working there together. Back and sides of this guitar are a killer set of Bryn Athyn East Indian Rosewood. And I've got to tell you, I am blown away by this wood. Not only is it completely gorgeous, this is unlike virtually any East Indian rosewood I've ever heard. Certainly unlike any modern East Indian rosewood I've ever heard. Now, if this appearance to this wood looks unique or looks different than, say, the stuff that you might see coming out of like Taylor guitars or Martin guitars or even Collings guitars, it is different. This is old growth East Indian rosewood. So much of the East Indian rosewood you and I are used to seeing today is going to be newer, faster growing, plantation grown East Indian rosewood. Absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But again, there is something extra special about this old growth wood that is old, non-disrupted in its natural growing state wood. Very special stuff. Now, the Bryn Athyn Cathedral aspect of this rosewood, the Bryn Athyn Cathedral itself is up in Pennsylvania. It was built many years ago in the early 1900s, early 19-teens. Is when it started construction, and they purchased a ton of both Brazilian rosewood and East Indian rosewood to furnish the interior of this cathedral. And of course, when you buy wood like that, you buy extra wood in case repairs need to be made, extra pieces of furniture need to be made, so on and so forth. So for quite literally over a century, this Brazilian rosewood and East Indian rosewood, in this particular case, sat in the catacombs of the Bryn Athyn Cathedral up there in Pennsylvania. Naturally, Richard Hoover's spidey senses got a hold of this stuff. And here we are today, and this is the first example that we've had with this particular old growth East Indian rosewood. But again, we are absolutely stunned, not only by the appearance, but most importantly, the sound of this very special, very rare storied wood. All the way up on the headstock, we're going to see an absolutely beautiful, beautiful ebony veneer on the face of that powerful slotted headstock. Bound in koa all the way around, I should have mentioned. We also have that ebony fingerboard there with the diamond and square fingerboard inlays. A beautiful ebony pyramid bridge as well. And again, just really a powerful statement of a guitar here. 1 3/4 inch nut, 2 3/16 spacing down here at that beautiful pyramid bridge. And of course, all of the boxes under the hood have certainly been checked. These are Adirondack Spruce braces. Now, the H13 models have a combination of both scalloped bracing and tapered bracing in this guitar to kind of, play with how the bass side of the top works versus the treble side of the guitar. So they kind of accommodate that specifically for this deep body H13 model with a combination of those braces. They are Adirondack Spruce. They've all been attached using very traditional hot hide glue. And just a sweetheart of a guitar. Very sweet machine there. My, oh my. Very fine. Very fine indeed.
Someone said that the Cypress is going to be the new Brazilian Rosewood equivalent for tops in the future.
Who said that?
Les Guitares Mammoth.
Well said, man. I've really been, as I said, getting to know that wood. It's been educational. It's been rewarding. And of course, being able to collaborate with a tone wood like that with builders we already really respect, really know, and then having a new ingredient thrown in the mix like that—that's exciting stuff for people that do this all the time. Folks, we have reached a Kevin Kopp guitar off the wall that very, very simply put, if you told me this guitar time traveled from the mid-1940s to today, I would believe you. No questions asked. This is a Kevin Kopp K185 with some very serious tone wood that Kevin's been collecting over the years that we've been able to put into this guitar. Andrew, let's take a gander here, please. Folks, we've got a very, very signature looking Kevin Kopp sunbursted 1980s master grade Sitka spruce top on this guitar. And of course, that hand rubbed sunburst finish is most definitely going to accentuate the extra silkiness of this gorgeous master grade Sitka spruce top on this guitar, and Kevin has done an outstanding job of doing exactly that. Love this nice big 185 style tortoiseshell pickguard there. Of course, we have the straight bar bridge there with the cross inlays right there in the feet of the bridge. Very traditional 185 style for sure. We've got the grained ivoroid binding on the body and the neck of this guitar, and the back and sides. Folks, brace yourselves. No pun intended about bracing. Back and sides of this guitar are frightening. Flamed Brazilian rosewood. And man, if only it could all look like this, everything would be just fine in the world, would it not? This is an incredible set of chocolatey, flamey, spiderwebby. The adjectives go on and on. Brazilian rosewood, man, a gorgeous set by any standard. If this doesn't get your heart beaten, get off this channel. We don't want you here anymore. Awesome stuff, though, seriously. All the way up on the headstock, we will see a beautiful matching Brazilian rosewood veneer. If I could get it in focus there. We've got that beautiful mother of pearl Kopp logo with the torch inlay right in the center there as well. Very, very fine. Of course, we've got the parallelogram inlays going down the Brazilian rosewood fingerboard and a gorgeous Brazilian rosewood bridge on this guitar as well. Very well coordinated all the way around. And man, again, just an old, mature, woody vintage tone out of this guitar is really the only way that I can explain it. It just has that good punch, that woody mid-range. Being a Brazilian Rosewood guitar, again, it's not a completely dry, fundamentally based specimen. We've got some nice borderline piano-esque overtones out of this guitar, but again, very well grounded still in those fundamentals. Love that one.
Where'd it go? Rich is curious, why would someone choose a K185 versus a K200? Asking for a friend, okay, I'm lying, it's me, I want them both.
That was Ken, you said?
Rich.
Rich, I'm sorry. Rich, good question and good follow-up. Yeah, the K185, you know, like the Gibson J185, is just a touch smaller than the great big SJ200 or K200 if it's a Kopp, which is the big dog, the big super jumbo. This is considered a jumbo, not quite as large as that biggest guitar though. If I understand correctly, maybe somebody in the comments can clarify or deny or confirm. I've been told, and I don't know if this is actually the case or not, but I was told that the Everly brothers actually really wanted to play J200s, but their dad basically said, you know, those are great guitars, but they're too big for you guys, you know, being when they started out younger guys. And supposedly I've heard, and again, I don't know if this is totally true, but Gibson made the J185 based around the Everly brothers. Somebody tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. But that's the story I've been told in the past. Handro, do you know about that? I know you're a big Everly brothers guy.
I do not. My knowledge of the Everly brothers is encyclopedic, but I don't know anything about that.
No, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh well. I'm
gonna totally put you on the spot here. If you don't answer this question, whatever. Who makes the better Gibson, Kopp or Fairbanks?
Ooh, baby. Who asked that?
That was Tomas Montano.
Boy, the answer is yes.
You're gonna get us into trouble.
Man, let me say it this way, Tomas. Before we were a Fairbanks dealer, I had of course, I've played a number of Fairbanks guitars now and have been completely blown away. Before we were a Fairbanks dealer, I had incredibly limited exposure to Dale's guitars. And at that time, I was heavily convinced Kevin Kopp built the finest, Gibson recreations by today's standards, going after that traditional, late 30s, early 40s type of a vibe specifically, not like an ultra refined version of that, but that. Gotta say, when we got our first batch of our Fairbanks guitars in the store, the confusion ensued rapidly on deciding who made the more Gibson without having Gibson on the headstock. But I will say they're both awesome. Get both of them, Tomas. That's the only solution.
Yep.
We'll get there, folks, I promise. Folks, we have arrived to the final guitar on the wall today. And it is a lovely, unique creation from my good friends at Bourgeois Guitars all the way up in Lewiston, Maine. This is a Bourgeois OMC Style 42 Morning Glory, and boy oh boy did we use some wild woods in this guitar. Andra, let's take a gander here, please. We have got a downright perfect, I'm telling you, Italian spruce top. I love the top on this guitar, absolutely love it. This is very reminiscent of the top that Bourgeois put on the guitar that they built for me a bunch of years ago. So definitely a soft place in my heart for their Italian spruce tops, because this just looks so familiar to me, which is really cool. You can see in 42 style fashion, we've got some awfully colorful abalone shell going all around the perimeter of the top there, as well as around that fingerboard extension, even onto the cutaway, as well as around the sound hole there on the rosette, giving us all sorts of beautiful, delicate shell work all around the top of this guitar, really showing off that beautiful blonde Italian top there. Of course, we've got the tortoise shell pickguard there with some little bit of extra inlay on that bridge that we'll touch on here real shortly. But back and sides of this guitar are a serious set of Madagascar Rosewood. Beautiful, beautiful chocolatey wood here, milk chocolate, in fact. Beautiful grain, though. I love the little bit of the wider grain that you get out here, but then the real quarter sawn stuff right in the center. These backs, for whatever reason, just tend to consistently sound awesome when they have visuals that look like this. There's something to them. We've got the DB signature back strip going down the center of the back there. Nice segmented back strip, great detail. Effortless detail, though, really nicely done. The entire guitar, you can see, is bound in grained ivoroid, including that grained ivoroid heel cap. We also have a beautiful Madagascar Rosewood not heel cap, but tail wedge down here, rather, that's all beautifully mitered in there, purfled in there as well. Love that nice two-tone look that it's got there, almost right down the center. Really nice. All the way up on the headstock, we're going to see a Madagascar Rosewood veneer. And again, we've got the Morning Glory inlay package that kind of travels all over the face of this guitar. You can see it on the headstock there surrounding that beautiful mother of pearl Bourgeois logo, as well as all the way up the fingerboard. Really tastefully done. And as I mentioned before, we have even extended it onto the feet of the bridge there, totally completing that theme with those beautiful, almost kind of aqua kind of colors in there. Beautiful mother of pearl shell and other shell materials in there as well. This is actually an original inlay design that Olson Inlay and the folks at Bourgeois were able to kind of collaborate and put together. This is an exclusive offering from Bourgeois Guitars, so you will not find this particular inlay pattern done on someone else's guitar, which is really cool. Definitely their own thing. We've got the absolutely perplexingly comfortable Bourgeois standard neck profile here. It's a Honduran mahogany satin finish neck with a very, very soft presence of a V profile, but ultra comfortable. One of our favorite necks around the store, has been for a long time. One of our clients, plural, favorite necks out there too. The Bourgeois neck is certainly a favorite for a lot of the folks that we deal with. 1 3/4 inches at the nut, 2 5/16 spacing down here at the bridge as well. So just super comfortable, whether you're flat picking, doing finger style playing. This guitar will cover all of those bases gloriously. Under the hood, of course, we've got the H-tone Adirondack spruce torrefied bracing with animal protein glue that has been applied all throughout the interior of the guitar here, and just a super resonant great presence of, just that kind of ethereal upper end, those high harmonics. Talk about a deep sounding OM, my oh my. Wow. Very, very, very fine. And folks, as I said, this is the last guitar off the wall today. However, it is not the last guitar for today. We wanted to have one more special instrument to share with you folks. We were not planning on including this guitar in today's live stream. However, it just showed up today. And I've been totally and completely blown away by this guitar, so wanted to share it with you folks. This is a brand new, perhaps the newest creation from our friends at Santa Cruz Guitar Company. We are big, big fans of the Santa Cruz fingerstyle model, and we've had the luxury and the opportunity to build quite a few just incredible examples of the fingerstyle model with the help, of course, of Santa Cruz over the years. This one is going to be at the upper echelon of what we've been able to do with this particular model in general. And I'll tell you, I'm just completely blown away by this guitar. It is a fingerstyle model, so we're talking a 14 fret cutaway guitar here, voiced and braced to be a delicate, responsive, dynamic machine. That's exactly what it is. And Hondro, if we could take a gander here, we're going to spoil ourselves silly with all of this guitar. We've got a dark forest ancient cypress top. Once again, yes, two of them in today's acoustic guitar showcase. Very rare indeed, but another one of the dark forest tops here, which is just excruciatingly great. Really beautiful, really just, again, iridescent looking wood, just tons of dimension to that wood all the way around, lots of movement. The binding on this guitar is a gorgeous, gorgeous tortoiseshell binding that's been applied to the body, the neck, as well as around the headstock on this guitar. This has the standard blue and maple purple combo from Santa Cruz on the body of the guitar as well as on the rosette of the guitar as well. We did extend that blue purfling onto the face of the fingerboard and headstock, which we'll get to in just a moment. But I wanted to indulge us in this just wonderful, wonderful set of dark, nearly burled looking African blackwood. Man, oh man, what a combination in a fingerstyle model with the African blackwood and dark forest ancient cypress. Just an incredible, powerful combination of woods here for sure. We've got that beautiful tortoiseshell back strip going right down the center of the back. Let me try to give you a close-up of that there, but mitered in there really beautifully. Very luxurious looking because that tortoiseshell binding is dark, but once you get up on it, it definitely has that nice, again, iridescence to it and sheen. All the way up on the headstock, we've got a beautiful matching African blackwood veneer on the face of the headstock with no logo. Again, it's bound and purfled. It's got the tortoiseshell binding and then the maple and blue purfling around the headstock itself. The fingerboard is also done in, yes, African blackwood. Keep it perfectly coordinated. Why wouldn't you? We also have the deco inlays going all the way down that fingerboard with the SCGC logo down there at the 12th fret. Very, very powerful stuff here indeed. Nothing like taking a nice big chunk of African blackwood and putting some killer inlays into it, which is exactly what Santa Cruz has done. Under the hood, we have done a little bit of customization under the hood here as well. These are Adirondack Spruce braces, which is considered an upgrade. They've all been attached using hot hide glue, which is considered an upgrade. Normally, the fingerstyle model would come standard with a tapered brace design. On several, if not the majority, of the fingerstyle models we order with Santa Cruz, we tend to do a custom bracing that's a scalloped design, meaning that they remove more of that bracing material from those braces. And what that accomplishes is a little bit lighter, more responsive soundboard, as well as it increases the bass response out of the guitar. And my attitude is, for a fingerstyle instrument like this, more likely than not, it'll probably be played by an individual playing by themselves, trying to create a lot of sound in a big sonic space. And I just felt that scalloping those braces out to lean into that bass response just a little bit more would be a nice welcomed change in the voice of this guitar. And man, did they nail every aspect of the voicing, the presentation, the just everything of this guitar. A very full and very rich voice out of the Santa Cruz fingerstyle custom, man. Again, that dark forest, ancient cypress with that African blackwood on the back and sides almost creates like a reverb chamber. It's just very, very lively, active, resonant, just wants to kind of keep on rolling, and has those beautiful harmonics that just kind of bloom out of there. Nice when you can play a very simple, basic chord and the guitar just does all the work for you. A killer. Like I said, I wanted to just toss this one in at the end because it just arrived off the truck today and we're rather smitten with it. Very fine. And folks, we have now officially reached the end of the line. So, Andro, anything speaking to you off the wall today by chance?
There's a lot speaking to me. And at first I was going to pick the Santa Cruz, but then you threw us the curveball, another
And
Santa
played
Cruz.
a Santa Cruz.
So now I just can't decide between both of those. So, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've just been beside ourselves happy with, not only the builders that obviously use the ancient cypress here, but the ancient cypress, just having this in our shop in a few different contexts from a few different builders, how educational that has been for us, and just a ton of fun getting to know a beautiful new wood. Anything speaking to any of the folks from chat there?
I saw someone commenting on, Dave picked both the Santa Cruz models. Good choice.
Perfect.
There's just some discussion about some of the Cypress information. And do you know where this top is sourced from? Is it Alaskan or is it something else?
No, it is something else. In fact, I need to call. I'll call Brenda at Santa Cruz, and we'll get the exact. I didn't get the exact dating on this one just yet. We're waiting for the certificate to come in for this guitar, for the carbon dating and everything. Cool. Which, all the ancient Cypress guitars come with documentation showing the carbon dating, the aging, where it came from. So pretty darn fascinating stuff. And, I got to say, just if builders like, Richard Hoover, Jason Costel, Jeff Jewett, Dana Bourgeois, if folks like that are excited about this wood, the trickle-down effect is strong there. We're excited about it, too. You better believe it.
We got Remo on all the guitars is their pick.
Well said.
Evade the Eyes picking the first Kopp.
Oh yeah, that RJ was sweet.
Tomas, a tie between the Santa Cruzes. Lay Guitars Mammoth, Santa Cruz again, but David Vandermolen on the Collings D.
Nice.
And Pure Heart Ukulele Club on the Baby Collings, with maybe the Kopp RJ.
Yeah, nice.
Another call for the Santa Cruz, another Santa Cruz. Looks like we're going to California.
There you have it. West Coast, here we come.
Sam's favorite is always the last one that you play.
That's fair. Me too, really. That's fair. Folks, this has been a good one. We've played through some fun stuff today, and we sure appreciate you joining us and following along for sure. As always, if you weren't able to catch this live but able to see it after the fact, we sure appreciate you tuning in as well. Don't be shy on the comments, whether you're joining us live or after the fact. We love to hear from you folks. As I said, this is the last Acoustic Guitar Showcase of 2024. So we'll be coming back, don't worry. But the last one for this year, we wanted to end it in a big way. Of course, with getting into 2025, that's jumping right into January, and a lot of us know what happens in the third week of January, which is NAMM. So you better believe we're going to have all sorts of new goodies coming our direction that will be showcased at the NAMM show. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but we're going to have some crazy stuff here pretty soon, so as if we don't already. But folks, thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget to tune in again. We'll come to you with another live stream announcement when we do this again. We'll have a whole new batch of guitars, and we'll do it all over again. Folks, have a wonderful holiday, a wonderful new year. We will catch you